What's up, everybody? Let's see. I'll put this in here. Power shift your week. Boom. And then let me pin it. All right, what's happening? Who's on here? Eddie's here. Will, Cigal, what's up? Who else we got on here? Rahank05, what up? Pasnia and DJ Funny Bones, I see you. Nikki Foreign, Nazeem, what's up, Nazeem? What's happening? Hey, Ginger, Mr. Corey Wilcox is in here. Somebody saying what's up from Boston. Hello, Boston is Vinnie, I think. Bianca, all right, so we're all in here, okay. So, listen, happy Monday, happy President's Day. I hope you all had a really great Valentine's Day with the ones you love. And hello from Arkansas. I see real Jeff Baker is here and Edmund here. Salute back to you. Giovanni is here. All right, so I'm going to hop right into this. So you know what I do. I do Power Shift Your Week every single week, and I give you things that are, whether it's informative or things that I just think about. And, I'm going to give you always a little stat and then maybe a little call to action, CTA. And I wrote it down, all right? I always write down some of this because I don't want to get these facts wrong. You can make up your own opinions, but you can't make up your own facts, all right? So check this out. Here's an interesting fact. According to an analysis conducted by Business and Fashion and List of consumers searching traffic from June 2017, seems like forever, right? 2017. From June 2017, the release of Cardi B's Bodak Yellow, to November 17, there was a 217% spike in searches for Christian Louis Vuitton shoes. And now in the song, as we all know, she includes a line, "These expensive, these are red bottoms, these are bloody shoes," right? We all know that. And of course, in the chorus. Now, a lot of people will say, well, you can't just attribute that to Cardi B, but we all know that that's bullshit, right? 217% due to her song and her mention and her influence. And you have to think about it like that. I mean, imagine when Biggie started talking about Versace Sage watching you, right? However, Gucci down to the socks. And of course, I'm somebody who was able to take advantage of that when LL Cool J mentioned FUBU, For Us By Us, on the low in the Gap commercial. Why am I saying all that? Well, you're not necessarily going to easily go get a Cardi B or Biggie Smalls or LL Cool J, but influence is extremely important. I'm not telling you anything new. But influence can often be by those who just fit your brand and fit it for a specific way. And you can ask people if they fit your brand, if they are a certain shape, size, they have a different belief. So when I first launched FUBU, I've told this story many times, but I'm going to tell it one more time. I wasn't able to get to LL Cool J, and I wasn't able to get to all those type of artists. At that time, LL Cool J was one of the top 10 rappers in the world. There wasn't a lot of rappers out there. He was a platinum artist. He also had television shows, and he was in movies. And his songs were being played in movies like Less Than Zero and all of those other things. So he was extremely difficult to get to. So the way that I got to him was I had 50 shirts that I gave to a bunch of the big guys in my neighborhood. Why did I give those? And they weren't just big shirts. I mean, these were 5X and 6X. So a normal guy couldn't wear it. It was normally a big guy. Why did I give it to them? I only had money for 50 shirts, and I did not have money to give to all the cool kids, because the cool kids were known for wearing a shirt once or twice or 5 times and throwing it away or giving it to somebody else because they couldn't be seen in the same thing. But the big guys who did not have a lot of opportunities to get, fashionable clothes, because Rochester big and tall, only sold like white shirts, black shirts, really blank stuff, and nobody was making a brand for big guys, or they would have to go to get their stuff custom made, which was very costly. Well, then now we had this nice, great big logo that only the big guys can have. And those guys, as somebody just said, were walking billboards. Those guys were the guys that were bodyguards. Those guys were in front of the red rope at clubs. Those guys were in front of the stages at concerts. Those guys were in front of the music artists on the videos. And those guys wouldn't wear that one shirt 5 times. They would wear it 15 times a month. Hopefully they cleaned them. And what happened was it was really now put in the face of all the artists and a lot of people. I got a lot of love from that. But also, what was about those influencers? Well, they were perceived, and they are tough. They were big. They were often, those big guys are very fun-loving kind of guys, because they're not worried about anybody beating them up. Right? They also were authoritative, right? Because they were usually, the person who let you in someplace or kicked your ass out. And the best part about it is because they were around the artists so many times, and also press people, because those people would always ask, what is that? Why do you guys all have that on? Are you guys all a group of one security force, or what is it? They would mention why they have it and who gave it to them. And then I would get interviews because of those big guys. And also the artists started saying, man, that looks good. Where's mine? And the big guys would say, no, you're too cool. You're not the little man. This little guy named Daymond, he can't afford to give it to guys like you who are going to wear it one time. And what happened? Now, all of a sudden, I made the big guy feel important. So he would say to the artist, I'll go hook you up with little man over here, but make sure you wear it. And the big guy would make sure that person wears it, because the big guy wanted to get more pieces themselves, and they wanted to feel important. So try to find who your influencers are, and your influencers do not have to be the superstars. Matter of fact, many of the superstars of the world go back to the hood and it don't have to be the hood, but they go back to the younger generation, or the people in the middle of it, and they get influenced by those people. You look at Michael Jackson when he talked about the moonwalk. He said, I got that from the streets of New York. I got that from the kids who are breakdancing on the streets. You look at Deborah Harry and Blondie, who decided to put Fab Five Freddy, in their records, Rapture, right? A lot of people are still influenced by the people that are in the streets, who are using the power of broke, right? A lot of times you look at fashion. A lot of people will talk about fashion where, the kings and the queens and the royalties were all getting married or had big balls, but outside of the castle, the paupers were all digging in the garbage or getting rags and putting it on their heads and flipping it to the point where they looked like they were walking down runways, and they were doing their own fashion shows outside of the palaces. So I want you to always think that you do not have to have this huge person. A lot of times fashion or trends or influence, it goes up because a lot of the people at the top, they have such an image to portray, or they're in a certain lane that they don't want to try a lot of new things, and they get influenced by those younger and more exciting people who don't have anything to lose, who are carving themselves out in the world. You'll see it happen often with people who are legendary musicians who will say, I worked with this young kid that's coming up named Swiss Beats, 10, 15 years ago, or I work with all these new art. It was a new sound that was coming out. And then that's when you'll see a lot of these really amazing legendary performers work with the newest and the youngest, and you'll see them influence people. So hopefully you're the influencer that I'm talking about, and maybe forget even if you have a brand that you need to go out to somebody. Maybe you are the brand, you are the influencer, you are on the edge, and you can add value to all of those, or some of those, not all of those. You don't want to be an influence to everybody. But to those who are out in the market and they're not being able to penetrate the market the right way, and you have everything that it takes. So I never want anybody here to underestimate themselves and their power to deliver and their power to influence. You can influence one person, and then 2, and then 5, and then 20, like I did with those 50 big security guys, and now look at me. That's why I'm here. So please all take that in perspective. I'm going to bring 1 or 2 people on, and let's see if you have some questions or comments that can make anybody and everybody a little bit more smarter today. All right, let's see who do we have here? I have amazing Grace. Hope she is ready for a conversation. What's up, all things hemp?
Hi, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you? Where are you?
I'm in Salem, Oregon.
Wow, it sounds like you're in a club right
No, that's
now.
my radio station. That's
That's
my
your
radio
radio.
station that you have been helping me with. I just
Oh,
built it. I just started in the UK. And I
uh,
have a vision that's so huge. And it seems like I'm like I started following you when you had 2 million people. And I put a couple of things about the vision. And the next thing I know, you're everywhere. Every
right.
time I come on Instagram and I'm watching how you're moving about your marketing, I'm learning so much from you.
Well, I do appreciate that, and I hope you're sharing it with others, and I fully
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
Yes,
So,
you know what?
yeah.
I have I have 9 different legs to this radio station. And the thing is, it needs to be marketed. And I see that you brought the young man on one day on my, actually on my platform where I could communicate with him, where he's, able to tell me rather, how I'm supposed to connect to you. But it's funny that now I have you here. I didn't have you here before. I have you on LinkedIn. I have you on Facebook. And everywhere, every time I open my Facebook page up, you have something there, and I love that you know how to keep influencing the ones that need to develop. And sometimes we run from people that can help us.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Do you have so do you have a question or something that can? And I really
Yes.
appreciate the kind words. I want to make sure we all learn from this conversation because I love people that support me, and hopefully, I may put out 20 things a month, but hopefully, just one of them, just grabs you at a certain time in your life, and you just apply it, and you go, "Wow, you know what? That worked." So
Yes.
do you have a question?
Your interviews that how are you getting all of the right people that we need to hear their stories? Like this morning, I got in on Shaq O'Neal. I got in on hearing that interview. I don't know if it's the same time frame you're in right this moment, but I got to hear him. And guess what? Ludacris is now on my page, and it's just amazing how marketing is working, and it doesn't have to do with celebrity or normal people. Now, I'm not going to say normal people, but people that are industrious. And I'm feeling very industrious, but I don't know how to make money. That's my question. That's my
All right,
statement.
so money, and I don't want to give you a warm, fuzzy answer. Money will come, and you have to keep the lights on, right? But you have to figure out at first, what are you delivering to people? And you're seeing that it sound like you put up the Ludacris interview or various other interviews, and you happen to be a lightning rod to people and you're attracting the people who need information. But you have to then go back to see what are you really selling them? Are you selling them entertainment? Are you selling them education? And what is your unique selling proposition? And how can you deliver that value with what you can afford? Like some people
Mhm.
will pay, I'll be very honest, some people will say, hey, I'm too lazy to go and try to find all these interviews, but I know that you find the real ones, that there are some nuggets, so I'll pay you $5 a month for a Facebook page that we do Facebook live stream, or $5 a month to be part of your organization. And I know you're going to put up 20 or 30 interviews that month. That equates to damn near what, 25 cents an interview. But they
Mhm.
know that you did all the research and you got all the other
Exactly.
crap out of the way, and you got the interviews that they need, and maybe you even cut them down, some of the interviews, and then you write a small little 5 or 10 takeaways from it. So
Mhm.
somebody says, for $5 a month, you save me 1 or 2 or 10 hours of work, and you found everything I needed, and you put it right here for me. There's so many different ways like that. So whether you are somebody, and of course, when I'm going to speak to you about this, I'm going to speak to people, and I'm going to generalize it. So whether you are showing people how to work out, showing people how to cook, showing people how to be better parents to their children, showing people how to work with their kids at home virtually. You can do things like that and save people so much time. And it sounds like that's maybe where your expertise is.
That is so true. Oh my goodness, you nailed it. Because what I do is I'm actually an ordained minister. And one thing ministers don't do, they don't make money.
Right.
They love everybody. They want to nurture and care for everybody. So you put the care package out there. And I don't use cash apps. I never do that. But what happens, you become a flow, a dripping creation. And part of that creation is that you're touching the lives of the people, and the people are changing. But they don't know how to seed. They not have the concept of seeding, whereas believers, as myself, we only look at the seed. We don't look at the people and for product. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I understand, but of course, as a minister and somebody who has to, get medicine and keep your lights on, if the value you're adding to them is just be very transparent with them. Hey, I have to live as well, and anything you think is of worth value here, please, if leave what you can, and I'm sure you probably do that already, but maybe you need to be a little more. I mean, people love more than to just assume that you're going to sooner or later ask for something. People actually like when you ask.
Really?
A lot of people, yeah, because think about it like this: if I gave to you and I kept giving to you, and I said, "Yeah, don't worry about it, don't worry about it, don't worry about it," and you know that I'm giving you services of value, a lot of people go, "Oh, don't worry about it, huh?" I see. What do you mean, don't worry about it?
Mm.
You mean
Hmm.
you're gonna hit me with some crazy bill later? You're a
Okay.
thief. You're lying to me. What do you mean? Don't worry about it, because majority of the time, 95 or 99% of your life you spend going to the store. There's a price there. You go get some gas on your car. There's a price there. The bill comes for how much energy you've used in your home. There's a price there. Your children got to go to school. There's a price there, and so is the dentist when you go. There's a price there. But the people who generally say no, don't worry about it, many of them do mean well. But at the end of the day, you have been so psychologically trained that there is always an ask. There's nothing free in life, no shortcuts, that you feel weird about it. Now, those who love to say, good, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to worry about it. Then those people often are people who do go through life thinking that people owe them something, and they wait for the 1st and the 15th, right? And don't worry about getting a job because the government's going to take care of me. I'm not making fun or laughing anybody on food stamps and or welfare, because I was on food stamps growing up from time to time when my mother and I didn't have, any money. But there are certain people that will live most of their life like that, certain, a small amount. But a lot of the people that will take and take and take and take are the people that won't want to give. And so you don't want to worry about those people. You want to worry about the people that are willing to say, yes, it's of value. And either I don't have it to give. And if they don't
Hmm.
have it to give, you know what you say? Then you go, when you do, you take care of me. But for now, I will take care of you. It's okay to do that. But always give the ask, because then
Give
people are going
that.
to assume. And you don't want people to assume.
Hmm. Well, when I think about it, I have a publicist that's come on my page, and I'm very honored that some of the people that are coming are people as yourself, are like, you guys are grooming or shaping me. You got to surrender to the obedience of the power of the word. In other words, I've come as far as I can go with what I had to offer. Now I need higher power, higher level of understanding to become a marketer. Like, I had my resume redone, and I was so amazed that people can take what you do or have done and invest yourself in, and they can tell you what you look like at that point. And that's how my resume ended up looking like. Okay, you have seeded enough and done enough. Now you got to figure out how to market your brand. And I became a brand. I've done a lot of the footwork that I hear you talking about, but again, formalizing it into something that is communicating marketing, where I don't have to go through these conversations of, am I ready to be marketed in way of monetary means, but to have them to be knowledgeable of what happens if I'm putting this out here, if I'm building a radio station from UK, if I am building a website you can place your store on, or you can get consultation, you can have your wedding, your funeral, and your baptism through the ministry that I'm doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We all become a health ministry.
Right.
That's kind of where I'm
Well,
at.
no, and I got it, And I'm going to keep trying to give you the information. I'm going to hop off right now because I want to make sure we have room for one more person. But I do appreciate it, and you manifested us talking. And thank you for supporting me. And again, I'm going to keep trying to put this information out there. Hopefully you take it and you run with it and do everything you can. I have been blessed and fortunate enough to be here. And so be able to give this information to you for you to bless other people. That's what it's all about. Somehow it will come back to me, and maybe you know, God will overlook some of those crazy things I've done, you know, or I will do in the future, and say, you know what, you tried to do more right than you did wrong, and you weren't perfect. So I appreciate what you're doing, and thank you so much.
Thank you for talking to me. Have a good day, everybody. Bye
You too.
bye.
Bye. There you go. So what did we learn from that? Well, first of all, she somebody who has mentored people but are still looking for more information on how to be mentored. You always will need to have more mentors in your life, no matter where you are. I still seek out amazing mentors, and sometimes mentors are not older than you and they've been through it. Maybe they're younger than you, right? Maybe as she gets her resume together and she puts her stuff together, you know, maybe if she was thinking like I would, the old way of putting my, you know, let's say if I was putting a resume together, I put it together like this. But if you pay somebody who has a little bit of creative in them, give them $100 to spruce up your resume with some great pictures and graphics and things like that. Guess what? When I'm interviewing people and I see a resume that looks like this, and then another resume that has some really great glossy, or not glossy, but it looks like a magazine cover or something else like that, my eye is going to go to that person, right? And that can just be $100 you give somebody, right? Well, I love telling people about when they're selling their homes or they're real estate agents. You putting up homes for people. Why don't you go pay a kid $100 or your son or your daughter and say, you know what, I'm going to buy you a drone for $800 and I want you to drone all the houses that I'm going to put online. And all of a sudden your houses now have aerial shots and other things like that. Why? For $100 a piece, or maybe you went and bought a drone for $700 and told your kid, here's what you're doing on the weekend, and this is how we're going to make some money. So it's all about getting materials and positioning them and always showing up, you know, the way she showed up right now, whether it's presentation on Zoom, anything else. So I'm kind of all over the place, but I'm coming back to the same exact thing. Number one, find mentors. Number two, understand how to present yourself to people, whether you're selling a house, whether you're selling your resume, whether you're selling yourself on Zoom, anything like that. Make sure you show up. We are in a visual world right now. So everybody that's on Zoom, let me tell you something. Make sure that when you're on Zoom, your background looks nice and it looks great. Now, I understand a lot of people are going to say, Daymond, you know what? I don't have a big apartment. Matter of fact, I have a 400 square foot apartment. All right, well, you know what? Take the corner of the damn wall and just sit there in that corner with a nice little sign over yourself saying, I'm in a small ass apartment. I'm just joking, but a nice little picture over yourself. All right. So I'm going to bring on one other person because I'm going to bounce a little bit and make sure this one is nice. And let's say, hopefully, this one is nice and short and sweet, which the other one was great as well. And as I was sharing with people about food stamps, I was not talking about majority of people. I was using that as an example of people, the ones that take advantage of the system. And you have, hey, how you doing? You have wealthy people that take advantage
Hi.
of it too, who say everything's owed to me. So anyway, how you doing?
I'm all right now. I wanted to get on, but what were you guys actually talking about? So I know.
No, there's no specific topic. Whenever you get on with me, whenever I do Instagram Live, it's either something that you want to ask me a question or something you can share that you've learned that other people, inclusive of myself, can learn from.
Okay.
But if you don't have one, we can hop and I'll remember you and get to the next time. I see you taking care of the baby. The baby doesn't usually care about anybody else's schedule.
Okay, now I do have a question.
Sure.
I have a cleaning company and a candle business. Now, if this was a year ago, I probably would have asked. I probably would have asked
Oh, she dropped, and I am sorry about that. She dropped. All right, she dropped. I can't find her again right now, but somebody else wants to. She was a born angel. Hey,
Oh my God.
how you doing?
Hi.
Hi, what's happening?
I'm so happy. I'm so blessed. I'm so honored to
I
be
feel the same
you
way.
right now. Oh my God. This is like my lifelong dream, Daymond.
No pressure. No pressure.
Okay, can
What's
we turn this into like a mini Shark Tank?
we can turn it into whatever you want. Just we have a limited amount of time, and I appreciate you being here. I know that I don't know if Cody, if you're watching one of my guys and my president of my company, Ted, I'm going to be about 5 minutes late for our 2 o'clock call. But go ahead.
Because I believe in me. Okay. So I have an invention that I invented. It's called Aquasound Hearing. It is for children, adults that have tubes in their ears. I invented it by my child couldn't. He loved water, but he couldn't get his head wet because he had tubes. And if he got the tubes wet, then he would get an ear infection, and then he would have to have surgery again and again to remove the tubes. So I would love to show you my invention, and I would love to go further and keep in contact with you and show you that this will change the world. We can. Trust me, it will. So many kids deal with this. Um, Even Cullen Phelps, the Olympic swim medalist, he talked about it as well. You know, a lot of kids can't go swimming, can't stick their heads under the water. Some people suffer from severe ear infections because of fluid retainment.
Okay, so who have you pitched this to, and why do you feel that I would be a person of value? Because a
Well,
lot of times, and I want us to all learn from this, and I may have some opportunities for you, but um, that's not my area. I'm not a medical field type of person, and I happen to wear my hearing devices right here. All right, so
that's not just it, Daymond.
you're not letting me finish.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Always remember one thing. When you're having a conversation with somebody, you have to listen. While we're talking about ears, you have to listen. You have to use communication like this. You have two ears and one mouth, and you're supposed to listen twice as much as you speak. The
Yes.
reason why I was sharing this with you was because I do work with the largest hearing company in the world that I'll be giving you a number to help you. But if you just said that's not it before I got to finish the conversation and I said, okay, she knows everything, guess what? You would never get that number.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So there needs to be a reason why you pitch somebody, right? Now, if you would have opened up the pitch with saying, Damon, I do know you work with the Starkey Foundation.
Mhm.
And I know that maybe you aren't aware of this, but they are one of the top in the world. And if you can, just allow me to speak to one of them and they can direct me or whatever the case may be, then that would be helpful, would be a different pitch than telling me the problem and the challenge. I understand there's a challenge out there.
Yeah.
Um, but make sure when you speak, and I want everybody here to think about that, understand the target. Because remember, I'm somebody who makes apparel. That is from science. But I
Yes.
see your passion, your drive, and what I'm going to do is you can DM me, but what is because I'm going to give this to my staff. What is um, your Instagram right now?
She
And,
was.
and 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 by the way, while you're telling me your Instagram, if one of our great people here listening can pin it for me and put it in, because as I write it down, I might write it down wrong, because just like I can't hear, I can't spell either. So what is your Instagram?
She was born an angel.
Oh, that's easy. She was born. I don't got that all day. She was born an angel, A-N or A?
A-N.
An angel.
I
All
have,
right.
may I say
Sure,
something?
please do.
I have 163 inventions.
Okay.
I would love to speak with you.
Well,
Like,
now it's time to get to work. You don't want 163. You want one. Now, I got to tell you, the only way that I can look at inventions and things like that due to my Shark Tank contract is unless you're on a public stage like a Miller Lite or a Lowe's, I technically and I'm not able to look at anything unless I previously, after re-signing my deal, previously submitted it to Shark Tank. Why? Because unfortunately, um, let's say right now, give you argument's sake, let's say you pitched and showed me your stuff right now. All of a sudden, you show up on Shark Tank. I'm not saying you will or not. People will then the other TV shows that try to compete with us will go, look, they know each other. This is all bullshit. It's a setup. And that's why legally I am not able to do more than have this conversation. You see, even about your ear product, we didn't go in depth about it. I don't know the patents on it and or the trademarks or what it claims. But what I'm going to do is give this information to my team, and they are going to contact the people over at Starkey. So if I were you, I would look up Starkey, Starkey or Y. Look them up, look at their divisions, and look at where you think this can add value to them. So when you have a conversation with them, you home in
Yes.
on where you can add value. Okay?
Yes, I'm so excited.
Me too.
God.
And now do me a favor, stop making, if you have 150 inventions and you don't have one that's a hit, stop with the inventions already.
I love it. I love creating. I love finding out new stuff. I love building.
I don't want any more new stuff. I want you to create change with what you have. An invention that never gets out because you're busy thinking about the next one, the next one, the next one.
Yes.
You're never going to home down on this one that can change the world, right?
Yes.
Change the world with one, just one. You see, you have to understand, people all hear about my successes because like I succeeded in FUBU and like I succeeded in this one and that one, a success goes on forever. When I talk about FUBU, that was baggy jeans in the late 90s, but you don't hear about the 1,000 failures I have because the one success that you will have will feed you and feed others for the rest of your life. It's important to hone down on the thing that you find the most important. So stop. No more inventions. I want you to get narrow and deep on what you have right now, okay?
Yes. Oh my God.
All right.
I'm happy. I'm so honored to be able to speak with you live. This is amazing. You have made my day.
Well, you
Tremendous.
made mine. I think you made everybody else with that beautiful smile, that energy, and the fact that you care and you want to create change. I really, really appreciate it. I was not trying to be hard on you in the beginning. I knew you were excited and didn't expect to pitch. But I think that you have something there, and I want you to be successful. And that's why I'm going to pass you on to people that are in the area of your expertise. Okay?
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You got it. Thank you.
See you later. Bye.
Bye-bye. I don't think she could have a better name. She was born an angel. She's so uplifting, and it was so beautiful, like her energy, and you know, it's just amazing. And so listen, God bless her, and I'm gonna make sure that I pass her on to people. And here's the best thing, because she did that on somewhat of a public stage. And my people over at Starkey are really great, but this is almost like a version of saying, well, she could be protected underneath, the fact that she said what she was doing. But what I'm concerned about is 150 inventions. Is pretty costly to protect 150 things. So I just want her to be really careful. And all of you that do come up with great ideas, make sure that you kind of do that thing where, if you think about it and are obsessed with it over years, then it's probably real. The ones that are, not so great ideas over 5 years later, and you say, oh, that wasn't that great idea, just scratch it and start homing on the ones that you really think are great. The same way that Barbara Corcoran likes to say she puts her priorities in A and B because she knows she has a million of them, and she handles all the A's, and before you know it, she gets rid of the B's because they were not as important. All right, so I think that's because it's Valentine's Day now. If you have a dad joke, please send it to me at community community@daymondjohn.com. If you are around, if you happen to be one of the people on Clubhouse, tomorrow night I'm having a Clubhouse with Patty Stanger, and we are going to be talking about what successful men look for in a future wife. Now, this is not going to be telling every woman in the world what you should do. It's just going to be what successful men look for in a future wife. However, we're also going to have very, very wealthy, self-made women on the panel as well. And they may say, screw looking for a man, do you, and men will come. I have no idea what we're going to get out of the panel, but trust me, it's going to be spicy. And that is on my Clubhouse tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern with Patty Stanger. So make sure you show up, and show up if you have great advice on what men look for, or if you are curious, or if you're like, forget them, we don't need them, go out and do you, and then start to make a decision on if you even want a man in your life. That's totally up to all of you. I'm not there to judge. I'm just there to listen and to learn. So, all right, I got some Valentine's Day dad jokes for you. And these came from a bunch of people. But remember, if you have a dad joke, hit me up at community@daymondjohn.com. All right, you ready? All right, here we go. Why do skunks love Valentine's Day? Because they're sentimental creatures. Ooh, that was a tough one. All right. Where do all hamburgers take their girlfriends on Valentine's Day? To a meatball. Get it? A ball, like Cinderella, but it's called a meatball because they're hamburgers. Oh my goodness! All right, one last one. I don't care if you don't like them. I like them. That last one was really pretty good, if you ask me. All right. What did the French chef give his wife for Valentine's Day? A hug and a quiche. Get it? Quiche? The egg, the egg type of pie. A hug and a quiche instead of hug and kiss. Oh shit! All right, everybody. Listen. Happy President's Day. And hopefully I'll see you on Clubhouse. I'm gonna be. I don't think I'm doing my power shift. I don't think I'm doing my power talks tomorrow. I think I'm gonna do that on Thursday. I'm not gonna be home at the time, but trust me, I will be back this week to share with you more information as well as more dead jokes. All right, later. Bye. Oh my goodness.